This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Tonight, apology tour. Nova Scotia's Justice Minister reaches out to advocacy groups after his controversial comments on domestic violence. Preserving Peggys Cove. The iconic fishing village has a new land use bylaw to guide development, but not without controversy. And white shark population. Some scientists say they are endangered, while others call for swimmers to watch out. Good evening. Nova Scotia's Minister of Justice, Brad Johns, is personally apologizing today to women's groups and those who advocate on behalf of victims of domestic violence. Yesterday, he told reporters he did not believe domestic violence was at an epidemic level in the province, contrary to the findings of the Mass Casualty Commission. Nicholas Sagan has the latest.
Justice Minister Brad Johns has been working through a list of dozens of women's and domestic violence support organizations, phoning them to try to make things right.
It was, a lot of political spin, him trying to get ahead of it. Obviously, he knew that the media would be contacting a lot of the people in positions like mine to get our feedback. And so, no, I don't feel like it was particularly sincere.
Yesterday, on the 4th anniversary of the deadliest shooting in Canadian history, John said he doesn't believe domestic violence is an epidemic at all.
An epidemic is, you're seeing it everywhere all the time. I don't think that's the case.
Premier Tim Houston quickly corrected his government's view.
As the Mass Casualty Commission included in their report, domestic violence is an epidemic in Nova Scotia.
And John's department issued a public apology later in the day. But CBC News has learned since then, Johns was given a list of more than 30 organizations to call. Sarah Roddeman missed his call and doesn't plan to call him back.
I found those comments shocking, disappointing, and frankly dangerous. We know evidence shows us that Nova Scotia is experiencing an epidemic of domestic violence, of gender-based violence. To minimize and to trivialize that issue with his comments is irresponsible.
Yesterday, opposition leaders called for Johns to resign.
And an apology isn't enough.
And Houston won't say if Johns will be forced to step down. Roddeman is calling for Johns to fully retract his statement, but she feels the damage is done.
I think that is a slap in the face to survivors and everyone who supports them.
A provincial network called Women's Centers Connect told CBC they've called for a meeting with Johns, and he agreed. They hope to educate him on their work and hear what he will do to fix this. Nicholas Sagan, CBC News, Halifax.
Police from across central Nova Scotia were sent scrambling this morning after reports of a gunman in Bible Hill. RCMP issued an alert ordering people to remain in their homes. The search was concentrated in the Hillcrest Avenue area. Police set up several roadblocks and helped secure an area school, which was locked down as a precaution. Police arrested a suspect a short time later. They say they understand how upsetting the incident must be, coming on the 4th anniversary of the mass shooting in the province where 22 people were killed.
We certainly understand the distress and probably panic that this incident must have caused, especially in Colchester County and across all Nova Scotians. We especially on that date, like you said, we do acknowledge that. It is very unfortunate, but I think today it's a good example of how quickly the members reacted.
Laflamme says no one was injured and no shots were fired in the incident. Nova Scotia Health is trying to contact more than 2,600 people whose personal health information was accessed by a former employee at St. Martha's Regional Hospital in Antigonish. The breach included registration and clinical information. The health authority says the person responsible has been fired, and RCMP are now investigating. Nova Scotia Health has also notified the Information and Privacy Commissioner to work with any recommendations put forward as a result of the privacy breach. Peggys Cove officially has new rules to guide development and protect the iconic fishing village. This week, the province has approved a new land use bylaw for the site. But some say the process to create those rules was unfair. The CBC's Haley Ryan walks us through the story.
Thousands of tourists flock to Peggys Cove each year to take in its iconic lighthouse and beautiful scenery. But the tiny community has long struggled with how to host the world while still keeping its village charm, an active fishing area. The province has now approved a new land use bylaw to guide development and business activity in the Cove. The process took 2 years of consultation and 5 drafts. I went to some of the community meetings about these changes, and people were divided. Some wanted more commercial zoning in the Cove, some far less. The fishing zone has remained, and the conservation area greatly expanded around the coastline. The stretch of the main road leading to the lighthouse is now zoned for residential or commercial use, which means more businesses could open in the area, and most of the ones already there can stay. But Paul Parouche says he's lost out.
I don't feel that there was a fair process.
Parouche was hoping his property, just off the main drag, could be zoned for commercial use because his wife Claire has run a hot dog stand there for years. But that did not happen. He's one of many who say there are conflicts of interest, with the Peggys Cove Commission leading the bylaw review. The commission is the only one of its kind in Nova Scotia. It's made up of community members, the area councillor, and representatives from the province. For years, they've made decisions on local development and who can operate businesses. With community members part of the commission, there's pros and cons. Locals have control and say about changes in the Cove. But with only 40 people who live there, there's going to be friendships, family ties, and personality conflicts. Complaints about how the commission operates have even triggered an ombudsman's investigation. Parouche and others, like the councillor for the area, were hoping that would stall the bylaw.
The land use bylaw is, like I said, setting people up to win and setting people up to lose without actually dealing with the problems that we have from a governance perspective at Peggys Cove.
Others, some who have lived their whole lives in Peggys Cove, are more optimistic.
I think overall it's going to be a good thing, but when you go through a process like this, not everybody's going to be happy.
Campbell says he's become an easy target during the conflict of interest conversation. His daughter is commission chair, but Campbell didn't get everything he wanted. His own request to zone land near the lighthouse as commercial also failed. Campbell acknowledges something has to change with the commission itself to make it more fair.
It's a very unique place, Peggys Cove, and it's good to have discussions about it, and it's the only place I've known as my home, and I care deeply about Peggys Cove.
Economic Development Minister Susan Corkum-Greek says she has faith in the process, and this was just the first step. The province is looking to modernize the legislation governing the area, which could change how the commission works. The bylaw will also see a new development officer who is independent of the commission appointed to handle permits and variance requests. Anyone who wants to change their zoning permanently must still go through the commission, but that's no comfort to those who have lost faith in how the Cove is run. Haley Ryan, CBC News, Halifax.
Ottawa is moving ahead with plans to protect the endangered white shark in Atlantic Canadian waters. The deadline for public comment is tomorrow. But there are questions about whether the white shark is actually in trouble, prompting one scientist to suggest warning signs are needed on Nova Scotia beaches. Paul Withers reports.
White shark sightings are becoming increasingly common in Atlantic Canada, and so are images like this.
At one point, there's none. There's none of them off of cancer. It's every year it's getting worse and worse and worse.
A panel of Canadian scientists has twice assessed the population as endangered based on an estimated decline of 70% since the 1960s. Fisheries and Oceans Canada accepted the recommendation, resulting in an automatic prohibition on killing or injuring white sharks. Licensed commercial fishermen are exempt. The designation also requires government to develop a recovery strategy to rebuild the population in Canada. The plan itself is vague, no surprise since it acknowledges little is known about white sharks in Atlantic Canada, like how many are here, where they go, the critical habitat that needs protecting, or even if a recovery strategy is feasible.
It's a classic case of data deficiency. We simply do not have enough information or knowledge about the Northwest Atlantic white sharks with which to assess them at all.
Steve Crawford says DFO should throw its recovery strategy overboard and start again. The department is proceeding anyway. It says it will fill the knowledge gaps, and over the next 5 years, an action plan will identify critical habitat. This comes as there are signs white sharks are recovering, likely thanks to conservation efforts in the 1990s, first in the U.S. and later in Canada.
I think that the population is in good shape. I think it's becoming even more healthy in terms of population abundance than it has been in recorded history.
He says it's time to prepare for more interactions between people and white sharks.
Putting up beach signs, letting people who are visiting beaches in Atlantic Canada to know that these white sharks are around there and that they do hang around beaches and that you should keep your eyes open, be vigilant. To my knowledge, there's not a single beach sign in all of Atlantic Canada. Well, we can do better than that.
The province says it has received no white shark sightings at its beaches, but they are here. Online trackers such as O-Search have become a popular way to watch them along the coastline. Paul Withers, CBC News, Halifax.
All right, so not quite a beach day. The water's probably pretty chilly, but a beautiful Friday, and it sounds like the weekend's shaping up to be okay.
Yeah, it's definitely looking a little better in terms of the timing of the wet weather coming in. We're going to be able to thread the needle and get some outside time on both Saturday and Sunday. Thanks so much, Amy, as we look at the highs today, and you can see widespread double digits and teens, and yeah, hot spot 17 degrees down in Keji. Now, we won't be that warm this weekend, but temperatures will be fairly mild. Area of high pressure is on its way out, and our next system is building in to Quebec and through the Great Lakes, and that is the wet weather that is going to be breaking down that wall of nice sunshine, and eventually, overnight tonight, we'll see some increasing clouds. Tomorrow morning, yes, you can see it's all white here in cloud cover, but I think it's going to be high cloud cover and enough that we'll still see some sunshine filtering through for Cape Breton and the eastern parts of the mainland tomorrow morning, and then that wet weather will approach throughout the afternoon. Around lunchtime, starting to roll into the Tri-County area, and it looks like early afternoon, the Valley, Halifax, mid to late afternoon, and then you folks in through Cape Breton and the eastern parts of the mainland tomorrow evening. But again, a quick moving system, a quick shot of 5 to 15 millimeters, then by the time we get to Sunday morning, it's pretty much gone. Few lingering showers Sunday morning for Cape Breton and possibly Antigonish and Guysborough County. But then that system clears right out. We'll see lots of sunshine, some increasing clouds, but overall a fine-looking Sunday. Temperatures on Sunday looking set to range from around 11 to 14, maybe 15 degrees. So that's definitely going to be the better day of the two this weekend, Amy. But as we said, with that rain looking a little slower on approach for Saturday, we should be able to squeak in some outside time tomorrow as well.
We can make it work, can't we?
Absolutely.
All right, thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Well, the budget released this week by the Trudeau Liberals included lots of money for housing, including 2 housing projects in Nova Scotia, one in Dartmouth, one in Amherst. The federal budget was scant on details about the projects, but the CBC's Taryn Grant has been looking into them.
Mr. Speaker, we are acting today.
The budget, tabled by Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland on Tuesday, includes $4 million for modular housing for people who are homeless. In Nova Scotia, Ottawa wants to rent out Shannon Park and help with the installation of modular housing. It could stay in place for 2 years until full redevelopment of the site begins. The province was caught off guard by the offer, but Housing Minister John Lohr says it has potential.
Honestly, when we look at what's available around that federal property that could be used for housing, Shannon Park always gets mentioned. It's seen as a very prime piece of real estate, and we're very pleased to see the federal government moving on it.
Ottawa is now waiting for the province, the city, or another housing provider to take them up on the offer. The councillor for the area says there is definitely a need for more emergency housing. The number of people living homeless in Halifax just passed 1,200.
But the fear is there's going to be a lot more this summer. So we have to look at a variety of different locations and sites. And it's obvious that we look at any federally owned land, which Shannon Park is.
Mancini says the city could get on board with a project at Shannon Park, but the province would have to take the lead. Meanwhile, the town of Amherst is mulling another housing project proposed by Ottawa. The Department of Defense declared the Amherst Armory surplus in 2016. It's not clear if the century-old building would be renovated or torn down. Amherst's mayor would like the building to be saved.
Our local concern is the maintaining of that heritage structure and the history that it includes. The North Novas were trained there. This armory is of huge significant importance, and the 486 North Novas who went to World War II and did not come back.
The mayor says he's working on a proposal for the armory. He says the town and a charity called Vets Canada, which supports military veterans, will ask Ottawa if they can convert the old armory into housing for veterans. They also want to preserve the military museum that's housed inside the armory, and they say there's plenty of room for both. The armory is about 30,000 square feet.
And that was the CBC's Taryn Grant reporting for us tonight. The president of the Nova Scotia Dental Association is welcoming changes to the Canadian Dental Care Plan. The federal government announced this week oral health care providers who provide services to CDCP clients can bill the insurance company directly without formally signing up for the program.
I think our concerns have been heard loud and clear, and I'm hoping that that means that we'll reach the point once we have a few more details in writing about this claim-to-claim pathway that Minister Holland has announced, that maybe we'll see more providers willing to take up this plan and see patients under the Canadian Dental Care Plan.
And I'll talk to Dr. Julie Waterbury, with the president of the Nova Scotia Dental Association, about these recent changes to the Canadian Dental Care Plan. That's our newsmaker just after 6:30. Post-secondary students in Nova Scotia graduate with among the highest debt in the country. That is according from new data from StatsCan. And as Andrew Lamb tells us, graduates from the class of 2020 were surveyed on topics like debt and employment.
When I came to university, 17, it's kind of weird to already know that you're gonna be in debt for a while, but it's also kind of something that a lot of people have to do, so it doesn't seem too crazy.
Clarkson is only at the beginning of her university education, but she's already had to take out about $10,000 in student loans. The first-year Dalhousie University student says the debt is on her mind, but she's not too worried about it right now.
I know that I'm going to get a job after and going to be paying that off.
Last year, Statistics Canada surveyed people who graduated in 2020 to see how they're doing with employment, debt, and other factors. By the time the survey was conducted, only 1/5 of Nova Scotia bachelor's degree graduates in 2020 had paid off their student debt. That was the lowest rate out of all provinces. Georgia Selesky is an Acadia University graduate who still has student debt. 2 years after graduating, they have about $30,000 left to pay off.
I have aspirations to go back to school and pursue a master's degree, but I simply can't take on any more debt.
Selesky is also the executive director of Students Nova Scotia. They say tuition has risen as government funding for post-secondary institutions has fallen. Selesky says the province needs to reverse that trend so students aren't left holding the burden of keeping the doors open.
I think it's deeply concerning that we're pricing our own students in Nova Scotia out of an education, and just as concerning that we're relying on out-of-province students and international students to make up for that.
In Dalhousie University's latest 2024 to 25 operating budget, for example, provincial grants make up about 42% of the university's revenues. That's down about 5% from 4 years ago. Selesky says things like inflation and the lack of affordable housing are making things even more challenging for post-secondary students.
As somebody who grew up in Nova Scotia and loves Nova Scotia, it certainly makes me question my ability to continue to live here. The cost of living is exceedingly high.
In 2020, people who graduated with a bachelor's degree in Nova Scotia had an average of more than $39,000 in debt. That was the second highest after PEI. Andrew Lamb, CBC News, Halifax.
There was a big jump at the pumps overnight, with prices across the province increasing almost 10 cents a litre. The Nova Scotia Utilities and Review Board used its weekly adjustment to move the price for self-serve regular gas up by 9.8 cents to a new minimum price of $1.85. The increase in price means that a 50-litre fill-up costs $4.90 more than it did on Thursday. At this time last year, drivers were paying $1.60 for gasoline. Coming up, after days of deliberation, jury selection is finally done for Donald Trump's historic hush money trial in New York City. And scientists say the deadly heat wave in West Africa would not have been possible without human-caused climate change. Beautiful Friday night out there, and Ryan is up next with his forecast. We'll see you in a few minutes. All right, so the weekend is upon us, and you have even better news than you did yesterday. We're going to have some sun tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. And again, it will be a mainly cloudy day, no question. But it's the rain that's going to be delayed a little later, which is great news because we'll get more dry hours in on Saturday.
And glimpses of sun, right?
Glimpses of sun, yeah, for sure. Tom's not here tonight, but we've been, going on and on with him all week that he's got to get some yard work done.
Yeah, no excuses now.
No excuses now for anybody, including myself, just putting it off. But lots of hours in both days this weekend. Let's time it out. First, we'll show you our beautiful webcam shot.
Lovely.
This is a live scene from Peggys Cove. Was in the news earlier, obviously, and such a great spot. Even this time of year, you can see folks there milling about at beautiful Peggys Cove. 9 degrees, mostly sunny skies, and it is just terrific Friday evening out there. Temperatures right now, you can see, ranging, well, anywhere from the low to mid single digits in through Cape Breton, with that bit of an onshore flow there from Sydney to Port Hawkesbury to Canso. But temperatures, yeah, much milder as we work our way towards places like Peggys, still hanging on to 15 degrees. Halifax in the 12 to 13 range. range in Yarmouth. A bit of an onshore wind there as well, coming in at around 7 degrees. And yeah, the winds are gusty, not too strong. They're fairly light and variable, but those sea breezes are definitely noticeable out there. So there's the area of high pressure that is giving us that sunshine and will set us up for the clear skies to start tonight. And then that building cloud that's starting to work its way into Maine now will cross the province. But again, it's going to have a hard time just basically just breaking in and setting up. And so it will filter through and eventually work its way in as that area of high pressure continues to slide eastward. Behind this low, there is some pretty chilly air and some flakes flying even through the northern parts of the United States plains right now. As you can see, just 3 in Minneapolis, 4 in Denver. So this is a pretty cool air mass, no question. We've got -1 in Winnipeg and Regina, just 3 and 5 in Calgary. All this to say that we will be watching that cooler air kind of migrating in for early next week, and it will be, once again, a kind of a cool spring feel, no question. Here's how temperatures are going to play out tonight. We're going to be ranging from around +2 to -2 for the most part. Winds are going to be light. We'll see, again, those building clouds overnight tonight. And you can see them kind of certainly moving in by Saturday at 6 a.m. I think this is where we've got our best chances for sun. We'll be in the east tomorrow morning. It will be breaking through, at least trying to. Clouds will continue to thicken up throughout the morning, but here's the rain. This is what we're most concerned about, right? And it's going to move through the Bay of Fundy, edging into the Valley, Amherst, down towards Lunenburg, Liverpool, all throughout the afternoon. Halifax, Truro, into Tattabagush, likely along this line as well for the afternoon. Give or take a couple hours, it's going to matter, right? And then that will push eastward by the time we get to, yes, around mid-evening. It's now just starting to roll its way into Cape Breton. So you folks will be dry for Cape Breton tomorrow. Winds from the south, so temperatures will range from, say, 6 in Richmond County to 9 degrees for Inverness County, both north and south. And yes, Antigonish around 10 degrees. We'll see 7 and 8 degrees here across Guysborough County and back across into the eastern parts of Halifax County as well. Looking at temperatures in the metro area, right near 9 degrees. Those clouds, again, thickening up with those shower chances rolling in from west to east, but some double digits on tap for tomorrow, especially for places like the Valley and Bridgewater and through Kedzie with those southerly winds. But again, the best chances for showers in the cloudiest conditions will be here in the west. Now for Sunday, we're going to be looking at those shower chances ending pretty early on Sunday morning, and then we're into the sun and cloud. And look at those temperatures on Sunday. Onshore wind in Yarmouth, but inland there even 12. We'll see 12, 13, 14 degrees on tap. So this line of rain, this is now Saturday evening again, it's going to be dropping about 5 to 15 millimeters of rain, maybe some heavier pockets in there. And there's that lingering shower chance on Sunday morning. Looking at lots of sunshine on Sunday, some building clouds, high clouds into the afternoon. And yes, for Monday, there's the system that's going to be moving into the region. And yes, some pretty chilly air. Flakes likely flying in New Brunswick on Monday morning. For us, I think it's kind of a milder day than we'll see to the northern areas of just to us. But we will be watching that northwest wind, and so perhaps depending on the timing of that frontal boundary, we may see the temperature drop a little bit into the afternoon as that colder air gets ushered into the region. We should be right around 10 degrees for this time of year. So we're normal through early to mid next week. A few showers on tap for Thursday. We'll be keeping an eye on that system, but overall, kind of quieter stretch here, which is good news.
A little more consistency. That's good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Up next, this week, Ottawa announced changes to the Canadian Dental Care Plan. I'll ask Dr. Julie Waterbury, president of the Nova Scotia Dental Association, if those changes are enough to get dentists in this province to sign on. That's our Newsmaker. Stay with us. You're watching CBC Nova Scotia News. Ottawa announced changes to the Canadian Dental Care Plan this week. Dentists no longer have to sign up to offer the program, which means clients can continue going to their own dentist, and dentists can now direct bill the federal program. Dr. Julie Waterbury is a dentist and president of the Nova Scotia Dental Association. So you've heard about these changes. What do you make of them?
Well, we're certainly happy to hear that the federal government and Minister Holland have heard the concern that dentists are not willing to sign up and enroll for this program, but that we want to see it work more like a normative dental plan would. I think our concerns have been heard loud and clear, and I'm hoping that that means that we'll reach the point once we have a few more details in writing about this claim-to-claim pathway that Minister Holland has announced, that maybe we'll see more providers willing to take up this plan and see patients under the Canadian Dental Care Plan.
So you think perhaps this will change their minds?
I'm certainly hoping. Like I said, I mean, we're still awaiting some details. We still have some questions that need to be answered, but it certainly does address one of our primary concerns that we had. Dentists were not willing to enroll. We really, from the perspective of our busy work days, we need this to work just like a normal insurance plan would. We didn't want to have the burden of having to enroll. This plan still does come with some burden. There are a lot of steps that dentists will have to take in order to ensure that the patient is enrolled in the program, that the treatment they want to provide is covered, and that the frequency limitations and the tooth meet the criteria for the treatment that you want to do. So there's still some administrative burden that the dental offices will be responsible for. And that may prevent some providers from participating in this plan, but certainly opening up this claim-to-claim pathway so that dentists can participate without signing a contract, it's certainly a step in the right direction.
You're talking about some details that still need to be ironed out. What are they?
Well, we haven't seen any of the details of this new pathway in writing yet, and we certainly need to know how it functions before dentists are going to be able to change their mind. The other thing is that we're still waiting for details on how this Canadian Dental Care Plan is going to interact with our existing provincial oral health care plans, and that's a key piece of information for us because we have, for instance, the Children's Oral Health Plan that covers all of the children in the province who are under the age of 15. We need to know the details of how these plans are going to interact before dentists will be willing to sign up.
Now, the federal health minister says for complex procedures, they have a simple pre-authorization process. Does that make things easier on your end?
I think that those details are yet to be fully understood. This plan mimics the non-insured health benefits plan that covers some of our Indigenous population. And the pre-authorization process in that plan is a little bit on the onerous side. It requires more detailed information to be provided for every treatment that we want to do. So we still have to work out some of those details with the government on what this is actually going to look like and how much work it will actually be for providers. But what I will say is the government has joined a working group with us so that we can work through some of these concerns and hopefully make these processes more efficient as time goes on.
Well, in terms of having enough staff to do this work, what steps need to be taken on that end?
So that's one of our bigger concerns, especially here in the Maritimes. We're short on dental staff right now. It's a significant problem. We don't have enough dental hygienists. We don't have enough dental assistants. And when this plan fully rolls out in 2025, we expect the need for these trained staff positions to increase significantly. If we're dealing with those shortages today, when 26% of the Nova Scotian population is eligible for care under the Canadian Dental Care Plan, it's very likely that we will not have dental offices that have the capacity to take on these new patients because of these staff shortages.
All right, we will have to leave it there. Dr. Waterbury, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks so much.
Coming up, a family who moved from Ontario to PEI lost their cat along the way. They thought their ginger tabby was gone forever until it showed up on their doorstep 2 weeks later. Turning to the latest from the Middle East, international pressure may be having an impact as the world seeks to diffuse tensions between Israel and Iran. Observers say an overnight attack on Iranian military facilities appears limited in scope. Israel has not claimed responsibility, but experts believe it was likely intended to send a message and not escalate the situation any further. The CBC's Chris Brown has more from Jerusalem.
The booms in the pre-dawn sky near the Iranian city of Isfahan signaled air defenses had identified an incoming attack. But it all appeared to be over quickly, and at Iran's high-value nuclear sites nearby, amateur video was posted soon after showing that everything appeared fine and secure. That messaging was repeated on state television, reporting that the intruders were shot down, no damage done.
Triggered by the presence of 3 small drones that were present in that area. Other than that, nothing has happened.
Israel has not commented on the attack, but if that was Israel's response, it represented a tiny fraction of the firepower Iran unleashed on Israel less than a week earlier. More than 300 projectiles were almost all shot down thanks to the combined efforts of Israel, the United States, Britain, and other countries. In Jerusalem, some said they were disappointed by the Israeli move.
I expected more, to be quite honest. I think more would have been even justified, considering they sent 300 rockets to kill so many people.
Maybe the tit for tat for now has ended.
This former Israeli military officer, who was once in charge of gathering intelligence on Iran, says the incident has left Israel facing an emboldened Iran and a tougher security environment.
Israel, we find it very hard to cope with the Iranian axis alone. And I think we need our partners. And in order to do so, Israel has to move in other directions. For example, regarding the Palestinian issue, in a way that it will ease the Gulf state, especially Saudi Arabia, to have normalization.
In all likelihood, Israel's focus will now swing back to Gaza, where its offensive has killed more than 34,000 and displaced 1.6 million people. Many there wonder if Israel quieted things with Iran so as to open a new phase of the war against Hamas in crowded Rafah. Will Israel come from the ocean, from the east or the west, or by planes? No one knows anything, said Abul Jabbar al-Arja. We have an indescribable fear. What are we waiting for? The feeling tonight is that both Iran and Israel have taken significant steps back from escalation. But with both sides still locked in the same struggle for dominance, the fear is the pause could be temporary. Chris Brown, CBC News, Jerusalem.
Jury selection is complete in Donald Trump's hush money trial in New York. It leads the way for opening arguments to start next week in the first criminal trial of a former U.S. president. Trump is accused of falsifying business records to keep a sex scandal quiet during his 2016 presidential campaign. Chris Reyes has the latest.
After a week of jury selection, 12 people and 6 alternates have now been chosen to be the first ever to judge a former U.S. president in a criminal trial. Donald Trump is facing multiple charges of falsifying business records. Some of the allegations include covering up hush money payments made to the adult film star Stormy Daniels through Trump's then lawyer Michael Cohen, leading up to the 2016 federal election. Each juror had to go through an exhaustive questionnaire and take an oath, promising to be impartial and only consider the evidence and the facts presented to them at trial, setting aside their personal opinions of Trump. Security could be a concern as the jurors' identities must remain a secret.
It's not an easy task because of technology today, social media postings, faces out there. It's easy to connect dots because everybody has information out there about them.
Outside the courtroom, as he's done every single day since the jury selection process began on Monday, Trump spoke to cameras, railing against the case.
What's happening here with the judicial system is an outrage, and all over the world they're watching it, and all over the world they're saying it. This is a giant witch hunt to try and hurt a campaign that's beating the worst president in history.
With the jury now selected, opening statements are set for Monday. This trial is expected to last 2 months. Chris Reyes, CBC News, New York.
India's national election began today. It is a marathon vote staggered into 7 phases over 6 weeks with almost 1 billion registered voters. The CBC's Salima Shivji reports.
The lines ebb and flow in India's north. For this, the first of 7 phases of voting in the biggest election the world has ever seen. It's my duty to vote, Salma Dilshad says, or else nothing changes. One family arrived 15 members strong with a singular purpose. The Prime Minister Narendra Modi is the best, this matriarch says. He'll get a massive majority. Looking at the polls, few doubt that Modi will capture a rare third term. This polling station is in Uttar Pradesh, India's most populous state, with more people living here than in some countries like Brazil and Pakistan. It sends the most MPs to India's parliament, and it's right in the center of the country's Hindi heartland, where Narendra Modi is very popular. There's a frenzied devotion at many of his rallies. His supporters adore him. Modi, our God, has done very good work, he says.
Especially strong Hinduism. Strong Hinduism.
Modi's Hindu nationalist agenda resonates deeply, even as his critics charge he's targeting India's minorities and eroding its secular constitution. Modi also praises India's fast-growing economy, but some say it's a hollow message, with inequality deepening and unemployment high. That pain is felt here, where laborers wait desperately every morning to be hired for a casual day's work. What has the Modi government done for the poor? Nothing, this man says. Others fear further divisions. All Modi has done is divide Hindus and Muslims, this young man says. That's how he works. But most see the opposition banded together in a fragmented alliance as facing an uphill battle in this election against a dominant, if polarizing, prime minister. Salima Shivji, CBC News, Muzaffarnagar, Uttar Pradesh.
Several countries in the Sahel region of Africa are experiencing deadly heat. According to climate scientists, its severity is a result of climate change, and as Anna Ram explains, it could be just a taste of what's to come.
From above and below, a hospital in Niger tries to rehydrate this elderly woman. Her daughter says extreme heat drained the water from her mother's body. A crisis throughout April in the Sahel region of Africa that was made worse when people were fasting for Ramadan.
More people were therefore more exposed to the extreme heat and did not have enough capacity to cool themselves down.
Those nearly 50-degree days in early April especially now being blamed on climate change.
Without human-induced global warming, these temperatures wouldn't have been possible.
That week-long heat wave stretched from Senegal to Mali, Niger, and Chad, a region that knows heat. But even at our current level of global warming, scientists say such an extreme would only be seen once every 200 years. And if the planet continues to barrel towards 2 degrees of warming above pre-industrial temperatures, it's expected to be more like once every 20 years. Also contributing, sea surface temperatures surging to new highs across all oceans.
All that heat is moving really northward from the Gulf of Guinea into West Africa and creating, this heat that we are seeing.
In Mali, that heat has killed, with a hospital reporting more than 100 people dying over a few days earlier this month. Say experts, a disproportionate climate burden for a region that pumps far less carbon into the atmosphere.
The parts of Africa which are impacted at the moment are contributing close to nothing to the actual emissions, meaning that they are basically experiencing the consequences of the deeds of other people elsewhere.
Forecasts suggest the region could see this deadly heat well into June. And experts warn as farmers ready their crops for the typically rainy season, they need to take precautions to avoid heat stroke and dehydration. Anand Ram, CBC News, Toronto.
As the old proverb says, cats have 9 lives. A ginger tabby, originally from Ontario, has used up at least a few. When his owners moved to PEI recently, he managed to escape along the way some 1,500 kilometers from their new home and couldn't be found until 2 weeks later.
We really missed him when we didn't have him for 2 weeks.
And how he has sustained himself in the last 2 weeks is another mystery. We have no idea, but it's an absolute miracle that he's here. We were on our way from just outside London to come to PEI to move here permanently. And on the way, we stopped about 3.5 hours in at Port Hope Service Center, the en route. We went to let the dogs out, and he got out at the same time. By the time he jumped down and underneath the vehicle, I had to settle the dog down, and then we went and looked underneath. He was gone, disappeared. So I looked under the vehicles in the parking lot, and Hugh, my partner, he went looking in the woods nearby. Couldn't find him. We spent quite a bit of time looking for him.
We were both very upset, and we talked to many people, and nobody knew anything about him.
So we went in and left a message with the gas station attendant, and she said she'd look for him after work. So she did that for a few days.
Well, we spent the night Edmundston, that's right. Quebec had a lot of snow. Edmundston was snowy too and cold. So, but we just didn't think we would see him again. We had to walk our dogs. We have 2 dogs, and so they were out and so on and so forth, but no sign of him.
As soon as we landed on the island, I went to Township in Summerside to the dealership, and a gentleman there was very good and kind, and he looked under the hood. He looked under the vehicle in 3 different places, but there was no sign of him. So we thought we'd lost him. Maybe 2 weeks later, he was sitting on the steps out in the backyard, and Riley appeared.
I said to him, "Are you Riley?" And he just looked at me, and then all of a sudden he went, "Meow." So I said, "Well, come here, come here." And at first he just watched, and then he started slowly, and then he ran. And he just ran into my arms. "You doing okay, kiddo?"
What was a distinguishing feature that made you say, this is the same as opposed to a neighbor's cat?
Well, he wondered that because it was such a shock. So I looked at him, and he's got a little orange half mustache on the right-hand side. So that's how we knew for sure it was him. We have no idea where he was the last 2 weeks or how he even got here, whether he jumped back in the vehicle somehow or he rode underneath the hood. We don't know.
So we are so happy to have him back again.
Welcome back, Riley. Well, Canada's main stock index closed up nearly 100 points today, helped by strengthening energy and financial stocks. Here's a look at how the markets did as we head to break. For news you can trust, we have the latest on what's happening in your community and a weather forecast you can rely on no matter where you are in Atlantic Canada. I'm Amy Smith.
And I'm Ryan Snoddon.
Join us for Atlantic Tonight,
right after the National.
All right, we're still trying to figure out how that cat got from Ontario to PEI.
Yeah. Depending on the vehicle, like maybe there was like a little spot,
a little bubble where he was in.
Yeah, could get up underneath by the trunk maybe.
But he didn't look too skinny either.
No, looked well fed, healthy, yeah.
Well, what's not a mystery is the weather is shaping up to be pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's start with another beautiful picture from tonight. And again, the mailbox has been plumb full.
Nice.
Well done to everybody, and thank you so much for sharing. This one coming from beautiful Bedford and a nice
a double rainbow.
Yes.
Very nice.
And thanks to Lisa for sharing this. Ryan's picks at cbc.ca. Beautiful, beautiful. Keep them coming. There is, again, the forecast for Saturday. Those southerly winds, 20 gusting 30 to 40. So again, I think we'll see a little bit of sun in the morning. Cape Breton, eastern mainland, edging into Halifax as well. The clouds are going to dominate, no doubt. Already high clouds by the time we're all heading out the door. But the clouds will kind of get thicker throughout the day, and those showers will march in from west to east. And again, Sunday looking like the better of the 2 days, no question. Really nice. 10 to 14 degrees. We'll see, again, that rain moving through for the most part through the overnight hours. And there it is, tracking in Saturday afternoon, throughout the afternoon. There's the evening, there's the overnight, and you can see that's when we'll see the darkest greens and yellows. Those are the heavier rains moving through. 5 to 15 millimeters. We're done by Sunday morning, and there's that sunshine, which will return for Sunday. And then for Monday, yeah, I think we'll have kind of a variable clouds type day with temperatures perhaps dropping later in the day, and certainly a chilly start to Tuesday, but temperatures looking at least near seasonal for a good chunk of next week.
Always wise to bring a sweater, and you never know how it's going to change.
Yeah, but, especially here in the Maritimes in April.
Good. All right, well, finally tonight, some traffic cops in India have found a new way to beat the summer heat. Yeah, check out these custom air-conditioned helmets. Police in Western India are now required to wear the cutting-edge headgear amid soaring summer temperatures, designed with unique features to help cope with the oppressive heat and stave off dehydration.
They keep a person cool up to 8 hours and feature a charging port and a protective sun visor. From April to June, various parts of the country now see as many as 20 days with temperatures between 40 to 42 degrees. That's up from the usual 4 to 8 days in recent years.
That is way too hot.
Yeah.
All right, well, that is it for us tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Good night.